Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
No one should be forced to be less safe and secure in their homes. Rise up and speak out against the left and the possibility of taking your constitutional rights before it's too late. Here comes Kate Smith, and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance on a Thursday. Good morning. And a good morning to everybody out there in Radio Land. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell. And, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations here in the Valley, serving you with a great big spring tire sale. And thank you very much. And along with some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What? Holy cow, the lost is found.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mighty good to hear your voice, old compadre. Hope you had a good trip and you're back here for a while.
Yes, and my great-grandson's like me. He's putting on a couple pounds a week. So.
I didn't want to say anything, but I was afraid that we were going to have to get a forklift to get you out of the booth the other day.
Anyway, I got a great story. I'll call back a little later.
All right, Doug. Thank you much and appreciate it. Hey, right now it's time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by K&R Rental. You know, Roger and the crew, they get there early in the morning at 7 o'clock and kind of make their plans for the day and say, look out, it's springtime. And a lot of people are going to be getting their outdoor cleanup, construction equipment and tools, you know, for all the lawn and garden work and helping the lawns. Oh, my goodness, are they going to be busy over there at K&R serving you. 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. The number to call, 678-3122. Right now, here is the weather.
Going to be looking pretty good for Easter. Good morning with your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. For today, that breeze will be continuing, expecting a high around 54, mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy for tonight with a low of 35. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, still breezy. Highs, however, reaching around 63. Mostly cloudy for Friday night, expecting a low of 40. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 62. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, and a low of 38. Then for Easter Sunday, going to be pretty nice, mostly sunny. You'll be hunting Easter eggs with a high around 62. That's your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
Ooh, it sounds good, Scotty. Thank you very much. And the weather brought to you by K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. And Roger and the crew get there early in the morning at 7 a.m. to serve you. The number to call, 678-3122. Right now, Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5.
Oh, that's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv, May, Cade, Roggy, Lance, Udy, the sale that works for you. Sale time this morning at 10:30, and if you have questions about the sale or consignment, 678-9411. Right now, here's a partial list of the run that's going through the ring today. Randy Adams of Gooding bringing down 70 head of really good 8 to 900 pounders. Gavin Smith over to Minidoka. Hello, Gavin, 80 head of 600 pounders. Mike Centerus up at Cary. How are all the folks up there? 20 head of calves coming in. Butcher cows from P-Bar S Dairy and the Antelope Hills Dairy and the Funk Dairy. 10:30 starting time at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Today's sale day at the sale that works for you. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, 1.5, selling $35. Zeb Mel gets bottom again.
Oh, thank you, Merv. Have a great sale today. And I want to remind everybody that tomorrow evening between 7 and 8:30 p.m. up at the Albion LDS Church in Albion, you can meet and greet the happy new couple, Owen and Sharon Wilmot. You know, Sharon was married this week, and so by golly, tomorrow night's kind of a great big fun event up there in Albion at the LDS Church, and that's on Main Street in Albion starting at 7 and going to 8:30. Don't forget our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Oh, yeah. The number to call, 678-0459. And they get there early in the morning, too, at 7:30 to 5, Monday through Fridays. All your heating, cooling, electrical needs right there. That's not brag. That's a fact. They are the best at what they do, and they've been doing it for almost 60 years. The best. Work with the best. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. How many of you are getting phone calls? And like me, I really don't like to try to make a mad dash to the phone. And you get these calls, and maybe you've got an answering machine that's going to trigger at a certain ring number, and you run to the phone, and you pick it up, and there's this voice that says, "This is an important message. Don't hang up your phone." I want to take that phone, and unfortunately it's my phone that I paid for, but I want to take that phone and throw it just as far over the canyon rim as I can throw it. Or there's another one. There's a scam going on again, folks, and I got hit with it the other day. Lady called, and she said, "Are you Mr. Bell?" and went through the spiel. I said, "Yeah," and she gave my address and everything, and she said, "Your order is going to be delivered on Friday." What order? Well, the order that you talked to one of our sales reps about back in December before Christmas. What order? Well, Mr. Bell, we need to get this delivered to you in the next couple of days, and all I need is your credit card number to make the delivery. I thought, yeah, buddy, you bet your life. Bingo! Down goes the phone. Be careful out there. There are bad people, obnoxious people, that are calling you on the phone. Whether it's, "Oh, we've got a great idea how you can take care of your student loans." I've been out of school for 50 years. Just driving you crazy. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927. 4587. Hungry? Well, I know a place to go if you're hungry. Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. That's the truth. Oh, what a menu. I love breakfast, as you know. That's my favorite meal of the day, and they've got all kinds of different breakfasts. If you haven't tried those strawberry cream pancakes, they are great. Caller, I'll be there in a minute. Don't forget Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley, and also at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime, all the time at America's Diner. Denny's Restaurant serving you, and it is the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. We have a good time. And real quick, before I take my first call of the morning, I want to remind everybody, too, about our friends over at Pomerel Place. I make no bones about about it. I worry about seniors that are living alone and trying to cook their own meals and forgetting maybe to take their medication. Wait a minute, stop the bus, Gus, open the doors, because I'll guarantee you should check into Pomerel Place, a place for senior living at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley, and it offers the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. Number to call, 677-8212, Pomerel Place in Burley. Thank you, caller. Good morning to you.
Good morning. What do I get for being the first caller?
Oh, I tell you what, the prize is absolutely phenomenal. It's behind door number 2, and it'll be made available to you over in the next couple of days. All you have to do is give me your credit card number.
Yeah, I've had those. I had Idaho Power call me. Told me I had a bill that was outstanding, had to pay or they're going to turn my power off.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
The caller ID even had the Idaho Power phone number.
No.
Yes. So I went with them a little bit, and I said, well, really? I said, I've been arguing with you guys on this bill. Just turn the dadgum power off. I don't need it anymore.
There you go.
Candles.
There you go. I love it. I love it.
You got to have power. And I said, no, I don't. I said, I don't have to have power. Turn that deck stuff off. I said, I don't want it. Well, I called Idaho Power, and they said, yeah, we've had about 4 phone calls already today.
Really? Well, I guess I'll wait with wild anticipation to get that one. I get everything else from student loans to your car warranty is up. Well, first of all, I don't have a car.
Yeah.
I love this.
And I get it where they you qualify for $50,000.
Oh, now there's one that hasn't approached my ear.
And I said, really? I said, you're going to give me more money to mismanage. I can't even manage the money I have.
I tell you. It is frustrating, though, and I honestly have a feeling of compassion for others. You jump out of the chair, you run to the phone before the answering machine kicks in, and then you've got some dipstick that says, do not hang up the phone. Hey, it's my phone. I'll hang it up any dadgum time I want to.
Yeah, especially get your hands inside an alternator and something. You're holding 2 pieces with one hand and one with an elbow trying to get a bolt through it, to get her together.
Yeah.
Then the phone rings and it's one of those.
Oh, I tell you, my frustration level is really at a peak, and I know that there must be this time of the year, when people are going to be going out gardening and doing a lot of things with their lawns and lawn improvement, outdoor improvement on their property, and then I get this call about your order is in. Uh-huh. And it really teed me off.
Yep.
Anyway, what else is going on quickly? I got a commercial break coming up.
Okay, we went to Medford and visited my great-grandson.
Yes.
And we went to a Lutheran church out there Sunday, and we happened to sit in about 3 old German ladies' pew.
Uh-huh.
You know how that is.
I'm not going to say too much.
But the one lady was so interesting. She remembers when Hitler was first voted in.
Wow. Wow, she had just a few years of memory.
She was 5 years old or 6.
Oh, my.
And she said, and the reason the people followed him is because Germany at that time was in a terrible depression and people were starving.
Yeah.
And if you followed and signed up that you would join the Nazi Party, you was guaranteed a bowl of rice every day.
Yeah. Isn't it a shame, Doug, that it looks like history is trying to repeat itself in many respects of what happened 70-plus years ago, 65-plus years ago, and the indoctrination. I want to run this by you real quick. The indoctrination of our kids after what happened down at that Florida high school, and some of the outspoken youngsters that have been paid and programmed and trained by the left. It's only going to get worse before it gets better.
It is. It really is. And I could have talked to this lady for hours. But she said when Hitler got voted in the first time, they come around with the ballots.
Yeah.
And if you didn't want to vote for Hitler, they shot one of your family members.
Oh, my goodness sakes. The horrors. And, this is the thing that kids don't appreciate today. I think you'll agree with this statement, too. There's so many people that cannot retrace in their minds because they're not taught history. And they're not taught about what happened to formulate the way the world is today, or our Constitution, or whatever the case might be. There are many that are doubters about what happened even as soon in the history pages as history with Hitler and the killing of the Jews and the death camps. They look at you like, oh, come on, don't tell me this fairy story anymore.
Exactly. And, and I was not taught that in school on how he done this and stuff like that. It's very sad that these kids nowadays have no idea what the world was like, but they're going to find out if they keep pushing hard enough, they're going to live in it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That was very well stated, Doug. Thank you. I got to get some bills paid, but it's so nice to have you back, and I'm glad you turned the key in your lock and you're back at work. It's about time you got something done.
Anyway, everybody, let's do what we can for our senior centers. Let's support them, donate.
All right.
All right.
You're a good man, McGee. Thank you. Caller, I'll be right with you, I promise. Do not go away. Do not collect $200. Don't pass go. Don't forget Dino Septic Service over in Rupert. And I've told you this many times, but they recently purchased Dennis Dockstetter's pumping service. And they're bigger, and they can serve more people with fast, fare-friendly service. And septic tanks that need to be pumped, ooh, you don't want to do it. And, of course, liquid waste removal, ooh, you don't want to do it. And, of course, putting in the sewer and sink drain lines that are clean. They can put them in, water and sewer lines installed. They can do it all, and they're really nice people. And the number to call, 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. Dino Septic Service in Rupert, where they have the big truck that says, whoa, yeah, smells cargo on the way. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, was that kind of a smelly commercial?
What?
A smelly commercial?
No, it wasn't. These are really nice people, and they do a job that you and I don't want to do.
I know. I'm just trying to be funny.
Well, okay. Well, pardon me for messing up the attempt.
But I do have some really, really good news.
Okay, well, I am wild with anticipation. Give it to me.
I've got a check in the mail.
Uh-huh.
You know how they're always saying your check's in the mail?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I got this check, and it's for $1,500,000. And it says I'm qualified.
To do
qualified funds.
To do what?
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
But down to the very bottom, in very fine print, it says, this is not a check.
So here you are, ready to call the Social Security office and tell them to cancel any more monthly payments because you are now solvent, you can pay everything, you're going to live on your own money, but then you found out at the bottom of the check it's not a check.
Yeah, I was ready to order me a new Tesla or something like that because this is exciting.
Well, what the heck was it for?
For me.
Well, I know that.
It was addressed to my company.
Oh.
And as you know, we haven't been in business for probably 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And these people are really up to date, aren't they?
Wheels, we got a little feedback over there on this call, if you'd help me out a little bit. Yeah, well, you know something, Keith? This is what irritates me. That I don't mind the junk mail so much because all I have to do is just try to aim and fire at the trash container. But I really get upset at the crank calls, the phony calls, because, you got to run to the phone before the answering service takes off, and I'm frustrated.
Well, the thing about this is this junk mail I don't usually even look at, but right through this little window in the envelope, it was green and everything, just like a real check.
Uh-huh.
I just had to look into it.
Well,
but now I don't know what to do.
Well, I'll tell you what, it goes back to the old adage, all that glitters is not gold, my friend. Thank you for your call. Have a great day. I got to get some bills paid. Thank you.
I just thought I'd add that to Doug's deal about his power company.
Oh, there you go.
There's news and there's bad news.
Oh, amen. Yeah, right. There's a lot of bad news. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are trying to get in your wallet. Good morning, everybody, and calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to remind you, too, if you got a little ache in your shoulder, or maybe you had surgery on your knee, or you had a little accident or whatever, and you need to get to feeling better, you better call Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Now, here's what I say. Nick Greenwell and his great big host of physical therapists there, my gosh, these people are good. And they know all the exercises, and they've got the only hydrotherapy pool of its kind in the area. Oh, please don't wait. Call. Make an appointment at 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. They are good. Want to remind you, too, about Airvana. Airvana, defined as the ultimate level of comfort you'll achieve with the presence of a new Lennox home comfort system. When you buy a new Lennox system at Ramsey Heating and Electric, you can get up to $1,700 in rebates. Whoa! Airvana is another great way to make you feel better, so call Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 678-0459 or visit their website at ramseysonline.com. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I really am worried about this next story, and I think I'm more worried today than I have been in the last 20 years about gun control. I really am. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Here's a caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes.
Excuse me. A couple of things. Yesterday, I was looking, or Monday, I was looking for a particular call to come through. And so I answered one, and it was a poor guy that wanted me to give to the policeman's fund. And he was wondering why nobody answered the phone that morning. And right at that point, I just said, I cannot help you, but thank you for calling, because I don't think he was a scammer, but I know some of those charities are false, too. But I thought, hey, guy, I wonder if you're wondering why nobody answers the phone, because we're so sick and tired of getting scam phone calls, we answer the numbers we know.
Absolutely. You know, and that really...
My call did come through. It was a Boise landline phone number.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
You know, Linda, I'm really guilty of doing this. You know, I know my friends. I mean, my friends, when they call, I've got an innate sense of memory when it comes to phone numbers. I can't remember people's names, but I can remember their phone numbers. And Deanne gets so frustrated at me because she'll say, well, do you know whose number this is? And I'll say, yeah, that's so-and-so. I can remember numbers. I can remember business numbers, but when it comes to meeting somebody face to face, I have a very blank, dumb stare on my face.
Oh boy, here's another one. I think Andy Rooney said he did this on. He said it on 60 Minutes years ago. If he got something that was offering him, maybe a credit card or some kind of something that he didn't need and didn't want, and it had a postage-free envelope with it.
Right.
He would load it all up in the envelope, and probably it had his name on it, and whatever the material was, and seal it and send it back to the person who sent it to him.
Yeah.
Postage-free, and they had to pay it as they came back.
Oh, I love it. I'm so sick and tired of being scammed and taking my time with, hey, your car warranty's about ready to expire, you better re-up. Or your student loans, we have a great way to pay off your student loans, which I don't have, never did.
Right.
I mean, I'm sick of it. I got to get a break in here, Linda, but I want to wish you, please, a very happy Easter weekend.
Oh, thank you. You and Deanne, bless you, and all of your folks out there.
Thank you very much.
You.
Thank you. Holy Week with the culmination tomorrow of Good Friday, and then on Sunday, Easter Sunday. We'll mention that again later on this morning. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We're going to have Fred Snook on our program next Monday. And we're going to talk about the Salmon Select Horse Sale at the Lemhi County Fairgrounds up in Salmon, starting on April 12th, going through April 15th. Ho, ho, ho! They are going to have a great bunch of horses this year because this is Idaho's premier horse sale. And they're going to have all kinds of vendors with Western equipment and tack and everything. Oh, it's fantastic. Starts on Thursday, April 12th, with the big breakfast at 7 in the morning, and then it's going on Friday, of course, with the mule competition, and at 6 p.m. they're going to have on Friday the big mule sale, and then Saturday they're going to have on the 14th big breakfast in the morning early, and then the Salmon Select Horse Sale. Holy moly, don't miss a minute of it. The Salmon Select Horse Sale this year, April 12th through the 15th in Salmon. Going to be a good one. All right, callers, give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I started this story a moment ago. I want to finish up. Gun control, I think right now, is more prominent in the news than it has been at any time in the past. I think the liberal left, the Democrats, have a toehold, and they're making it into a pretty good foothold to take over the lead stories on a lot of newscasts in almost a very non-subtle way of saying they want total gun confiscation. The way the wording and the verbiage is coming out, you know, we want gun control, and then they're using the kids, and they're doing this and doing that. And all it is a not so less obvious, I guess we could say, attempt to make sure that they're going to let you know they're coming after your guns, if not right now, maybe in the near future. Can it happen here? Yes. It has happened elsewhere by evil controlling governments. Will it happen here? Yes, if you and I do nothing. Could there be a attack on the Second Amendment and our Constitution in general? Yes, if you and I do nothing. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Zeb, I have a simple question. Are there no liberals/Democrats out there that go hunting or want to protect their family and their property and home?
You know, it's not a simple question. It's a very, very dedicated question to finding out the truth. I honestly believe that if you have a D behind your name, you had better follow in lockstep with the purported platform of the Democratic Party, or they will nail your hide to the barn wall. I think that they have to follow in lockstep, and I think what they do in supposedly their recreation time is not going to become very obvious to the people.
No, that's exactly what I was referring to. I mean, you know, they're kind of in the closet, whether they do or don't. But when it comes right down to the end, if they start confiscating, isn't anybody going to knock on their door?
You know, that's what I'm worried about. We're doing nothing. You and me and everybody else on the right that maybe has a gun for protection or maybe likes to go hunting, whatever the case might be, in a legalized sense, we are gun owners. I belong to the NRA. I'm proud that I'm a member. And yet I'm being ostracized and criticized, and they want to absolutely vilify me because of what I am.
Well, you know, the thing that concerns me, it won't apply in my case because I don't have a child or someone else in my home to protect. But if they come knocking on the door to a family, say 3 or 4 children that are standing there behind their parent as they open the door, and they say, "We came for your guns," and they say, "Well, you're not going to take my guns." "Oh, yes, we are," or "Your child will be shot."
Yeah.
Of course they're going to give up their guns. They're going to try any method that they need to, and that may be a little far out, but I don't think it is.
You know, and no, it doesn't sound far out, but it's the people that are the soothsayers that say, oh, come on, you ridiculous right-wing nuts, you don't know what you're talking about. But they are the same people that deny the Holocaust and deny what happened in Venezuela and what's happened in other parts of the world, Australia, etc. They deny that, and they say, well, it can't happen here. Oh, yes, it can.
Well, and one other quick comment. I mean, how ridiculous, but how we can prove that they're just using these young people for their shootings. A picture in the paper the other day, 4-year-old twins carrying signs marching, protect us, save our lives.
Yeah.
How obvious is it that they're just using these children? They have no minds of their own. They've never been taught anything about history. It's so frustrating, I have to shut up.
There was I got to have you, before you hang up the phone, Adrian, there was a black man that was on television the other night. Please, I cannot remember his name, but he was absolutely right when he said they are using and abusing our children. And he said, one thing I've noticed with all the marches and with all the people that were condemning the NRA and gun owners, not one single time in the background did he notice, and then I looked and I couldn't find one, there was never an American flag.
Oh, there won't be. They don't dare do that.
Absolutely.
And if they did, it would be upside down.
Absolutely. Thank you for your call. Thank you very much. That lady's always been spot on. I appreciate that. Caller, I think I had another call coming in. I'm going to ask you to wait just a quick second. Let me get this in. Barry Equipment and Rental. Oh, we're going to be talking to Old Juan. Old Juan. He's a lot younger than I am. And he's at the 159 West Highway 30 location for Barry Equipment and Rental. And then Eli, old Eli. Eli's coming at 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and then the Napa location. I might as well tell you right now that the grass is growing. It is. And it's time to check on the Walker mowers. And they're available in the Twin Falls and Burley locations. Check them out. And you can mow up a storm at Barry Equipment and Rental. Of course, they've got all your Bobcat excavators, all your equipment rentals and retail equipment sales. Holy buckets, they're there to serve you at Barry Equipment and Rental in Burley, Twin Falls, and Napa. You stop in and see them today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Jeff.
Well, Mr. Tony, how art thou? Happy Easter weekend to you.
Thank you, and same to you. And make sure you have a good one.
Well, we are. We're going to be here, there, and everywhere, but I wanted to extend you and Mary a very... And by the way, if you're going to have an Easter egg hunt, remember where you put the Easter eggs.
My memory's not that good these days.
Oh, go ahead, Tony. What can I do for you?
All this baloney about disarming people, if that happens, they try to disarm, put the kibosh on it, you're going to see a black market in AK-47s come alive, and before the police are able to do anything about it, there'll be millions of AK-47s on the street. And then what happens after that, the police become overwhelmed, the National Guard gets called in, and then the government steps in with martial law, and then, buddy, that is total confiscation.
Yeah, it's total...
If we're not careful.
It is. It's total confiscation, and it's total anarchy, and it's everything that America does not even want to get close to. But the government and stupidity are forcing us into that corner. And I'm telling you what, right now, I am very, very worried that if Democrats, a liberal socialist agenda takes over this country, whether it's in 2020 or whether it's in 2024, Katie, bar the door. All bets are off, because America, as we know it, may never be the same.
Oh, it won't. If it wasn't for Donald Trump getting in this time, this country would have been finished.
I agree.
So far, we've got a reprieve for 4 years, and hopefully we have a reprieve for another 4 after this. Because if the Democrats get in, like you say, it's all over, buddy.
Absolutely.
Goodbye, America.
All right, now I want you to go hide some eggs under the couch, and then a couple out in front by where the postman leaves the mail, and have yourself a fun time on Easter morning finding the Easter eggs, and then call me and tell me if you found them all.
Okay. I'll let you know.
You're a dear friend. Hey, God bless you and Mary. Thanks, Tony.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. I love those people. They are such nice folks. Thank you, Tony and Mary. God bless you. I got to tell you about something else here, and I lost my notes. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Bennett Boys Auction Service with the Big John N. Sousa auction. It's going to be 11 o'clock this Saturday morning, March 31st, located over in Castleford at 3272 North, 900 East. Oh, yeah, they're going to have some ripping good tractors and trucks, and they're going to have all kinds of different farm equipment, bean and corn planters, farm items, miscellaneous items, all of this at the John N. Sousa auction. This Saturday, 11 o'clock sale time. Look for the signs over by Castleford, put on by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. There is no sale too big. There is no sale too small. The Bennett Boys can sell them all. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to tell you a couple of things here.
Okay.
Have you ever eaten crow?
What did I do?
Haven't.
What did I do wrong now? Why should I eat crow?
Well, you didn't do anything, but now I know what crow tastes like.
What do you mean?
Because I'm referring to Roseanne Barr, which she was despicable. Remember back in the Padres game where she
yes.
Was very inappropriate, let's just put it that way. And I've never respected her since then. But now she's come out with a new show with John Goodman and everything, and the ratings were over 18 million people.
You know,
that's what she says.
Yeah, let me just say this. Go ahead, Keith. I'm sorry, it was cutting out. I couldn't hear you. Go ahead and tell me what you just said again.
She was talking to somebody there, and she said, "Let's make America great again."
Yeah.
And my throat just almost went in tears because this woman seems to be sincere, and she's an avid Trump fan.
Well, there is and I think you'll agree with this, is a maturation process for anything and everybody. And I think Roseanne realized the stupidity and the absolute arrogance of which she downplayed and did a very poor job trying to mimic or sing the national anthem. I think that's a part of her past that she would like to forget and not have anybody else remember. I will say that if the lady's trying to make an attempt right now to make America great again with a perspective on her TV show to where both sides are given, whether it's liberal or whether it's conservative, I applaud her. And the ratings, like you said, were extremely high. And we'll see if the proof's in the pudding over about maybe 4 or 5 episodes. We'll see what happens.
Right on. But, I mean, I'm glad to see somebody that's got guts enough from Hollywood to do something about these liberals.
I couldn't agree more. Keith, I got another one, and then the weather forecast. Thank you, my dear friend. I appreciate it. Thank you. Caller number 2, I will be right with you. I want to remind everybody about Airvana, or Airvana, however you want to say it, is defined as the ultimate level of comfort you'll achieve with the presence of a new Lennox home comfort system. Oh boy, when you buy a new Lennox system at Ramsey Heating and Electric, you can get up to $1,700 in rebates. Airvana is just another great way to make you feel better, so call Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 678-0459 or visit their website at ramseysonline.com. Caller, I'll get your call in before the weather. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell.
Holy moly, it's the world's champion eater. Invite him to a party and watch your grocery bill go up $90.
Yes.
How are you?
Good. Hey, you know, these kids about guns, if there's more kids killed each year because of cell phones than there is guns. There's over 3,000 kids killed a year because of cell phones and 300,000 injured. And should we take away the cell phones?
No, here's the thing, Jack, and I'm so glad you brought this up. You're bringing up a very, very good point. I maintain that schools that have programs that teach shooting and teach about gun safety and teach about what hunter education might be or whatever, I think those schools, those areas are going to be so much safer because of knowledge. And I think that when you take a look at Florida or New York or Chicago or wherever it is, I think that's where the problems lie, because they haven't, first of all, had the education. Then really people need to know what that tool or that machine can do and how to safely handle it. I think the kids need that education.
I agree with you 100%, and there's a school in Twin Falls that we support because they have a shooting club, and we support that shooting club, and they do just exactly what you said.
Well, I'll tell you one other quick one, and I got to get a weather forecast on here, Jack. There was a school in Pennsylvania that had a rifle team, and the NRA wanted to upgrade not only the guns used for that rifle team, but also provide targets and all kinds of miscellaneous items. And the school board, a bunch of milquetoast cowards, one of them said that it was nothing more than blood money from the NRA, and they rejected it. So the community got together in the Stroudsburg area school system, and they came up with more than enough money to do it themselves. That's what I think should be done.
Well, I tell you what, our sportsman's group supports that gun club in that school, that high school in Twin Falls.
Absolutely. You know, don't make yourself a stranger. Stay off the road. Come out and visit us sometime, whatever the case might be, Jack Euler. God bless you, and have a wonderful Easter weekend, my dear friend.
I stopped Tuesday afternoon, and nobody was home.
At my house?
Yes.
Oh, we were here. We were just hiding until you left.
Okay. See ya.
Thanks, Jack. Take care. God bless you. He's one of my dearest friends. Always will be. Jack Euler over at Filer. Hey, the weather forecast. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with Dr. Pickup and Dr. Mitchell. And you can trust your hearing health to these people. They know. At Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. And the number to call to make an appointment, 312-0957. Right now, here's Scotty with the weather.
Going to be looking pretty good for Easter. Good morning with your Zeb of the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. For today, that breeze will be continuing, expecting a high around 54, mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy for tonight with a low of 35. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, still breezy. Highs, however, reaching around 63. Mostly cloudy for Friday night, expecting a low of 40. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 62. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, and a low of 38. Then for Easter Sunday, going to be pretty nice, mostly sunny. You'll be hunting Easter eggs with a high around 62. That's your Zeb of the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
Thank you, Scotty. And the weather brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. You can trust your hearing health to Dr. Pickup, Dr. Mitchell, and they are serving you. Call for an appointment today, 312-0957. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear, I think it was at the University of South Florida, they have started a new college class and a college workshop. Do you know what it's about? It's called Adulting 101. I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. It teaches kids, college students, how and what to do to become an adult. Oh, you don't know how to write a check, Bunky? Or you don't know how to cook for yourself, Charlie? Well, they're signing up for this course because they can't take the pressure of being self-reliant, and so they have to sign up for Adulting 101. They have no jobs. They have no incentives. They have no goals. They say they can't handle it anymore. And this class is going to provide them a light at the end of the tunnel to become an adult. You know, there are so many responsible young folks in this country. And many of which, when they get out of high school, they know exactly what they're going to do. And they say to themselves, I'm going to go pursue this dream. Maybe I want to get into aeronautical engineering. Maybe I want to become a lawyer. Maybe I want to become an electrician or a plumber. And believe me, we need more, so many more, of those people. And they've got their heads screwed on straight because their moms and dads probably raised them in an environment of, you will do this, these are your chores, you will have a work ethic, and you will provide for yourself. When you're 18, you may see a Tony Lama boot hit you in the rear end, and out the door you go. Welcome to the world! But these certain groups of millennials that are not responsible for themselves, and daddy and mommy have put everything on a little tin spoon for them, silver spoon, they haven't got a clue. So they've got to take a course in adulting. So they may become responsible, they may seek out a career for themselves, and they may have some goals and, holy cow, be responsible citizens and taxpayers. Wow! Isn't that something? And when I see these people on television saying, give me this, I want this, I demand that, I'm going to throw a chair through this glass window if you don't give me it, wah, wah, wah. You just want to turn on the fire hoses full bore and watch them kind of fade away along the curb in that wave of water, don't you? But yet there's so many good kids, young people, that absolutely know they're going to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps, tuck in their shirt, go to work, and become something. And they know they can succeed if they try. I'll say that again. They know they can succeed if they try, here in the greatest country in the world, America. Adulting 101. I want to say thank you to all. My grandmother used to say that all the time. Yeah, and she was a German lady, and she'd go, Caller, I'll be right there, stand by. Don't forget Spring Tire Sale at your Magic... I bit my tongue. Spring Tire Sale at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of tires for you can roll into spring. Like the on-sale Eclipse tire for your cars. All-season traction, advanced tread design. On sale starting at just $61.97. Oh my! And don't forget too, tires like the Open Country HT for your pickups and SUVs. The best in brake service and front end alignments and shocks and struts and batteries. But service with the best people. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline and Twin Falls, my old buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, I have exactly 1 minute. Go.
Okay, it'll be pretty quick anyway. What are you just talking about these kids taking adult 101 classes? I really wouldn't blame the entire fault onto them. Their parents should have known better and to have passed down what they learned from their parents. Just, kind of a cycle.
Yeah.
And everything, and for some stupid reason, the parents did not give these kids the proper knowledge and education that they needed to grow up and be adults.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. I mean, when I look at these situations today with the parenting and the students and the millennials and the gimme attitude, I'm really frustrated. Hey, caller, have a great Easter weekend. Thank you.
You too, you, Zeb. Take care.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a little break right now, and what we're going to do is have a good word for Tommy Ahlquist, and then old Wheels is going to take us right smack dab up to the news from CBS. We'll be back at 9:06. Wheels, it's all yours. Oh my, here we go, hour number 2 on a Thursday, the last Thursday of March already, 2018. Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations with a big spring tire sale going on right now. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. In just a very few moments, we're going to go over to the chamber. Stand by. I want to remind everybody about Airvana, defined as the ultimate level of comfort you'll achieve with the presence of a new Lennox home comfort system. And when you buy a new Lennox system at Ramsey Heating and Electric, you can get up to $1,700 in rebates. Airvana, just another great way to make you feel better. So call Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 678-0459 or go to their website at ramseysonline.com. You know, I also want to say right now quickly about our dear friends at Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. So community-oriented and so helpful to you and your family. And as I've stated many, many times, when there's the passing of a loved one, everything gets thrown up in the air and you don't know what to do in such a short period of time. Stop. Take a deep breath. Call 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary with Joel Hewitt, his family, and his staff. They can and will help you. Always with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Please call them, again, 436-5636, Hanson Mortuary, and Joel Hewitt also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne on East Main in Burley. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and I believe we have, I'm not even going to say who we have because they always pull a trick on me. Good morning, Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Who are you?
Good morning, Zeb. This is Jackie. How are you?
I was almost going to say Shay Lee, but there was a little birdie on my shoulder that says they're going to pull a fast one on you.
I know. She informed me this morning I was going to be on Zeb, and I'm like, oh, I better run to the office early so I know what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, what are you talking about, lady?
Oh, there's so much going on. April 4th, 5th, and 6th, the Burley High School Theater is doing Terror by Gaslight. It's going to be at the Burley High School Little Theater at 7:30. So go out and support the kids. I think that would be a wonderful thing to do. And then we also have the Magic Philharmonic Spring Concert on April 6th at 7:30 at King Fine Arts Center. Just all kinds of entertainment. Tom Petty tribute band called Petty Fever. It's going to be April 7th at the Wilson Theater. Tickets are $20 in advance. We're having Four Seasons ribbon cutting on April 7th, and we're not sure of a time yet, but kind of mark your calendar. We use them here at the Chamber. They do a wonderful job on our lawn. They're going to try to keep it really green this year. We've had a problem last few years, so we've hired them, and they've done a great job. And then the second annual Dessert for Dogs is April 12th coming up at Maury Steak Center. So go out and support them. They have really fun drawings and auctions, and you can come home with lots of fun things and plus help take care of all the dogs that are running wild in our community and take care of the problem we have.
Absolutely. By the way, what does the word Philharmonic mean?
You're asking the wrong person. I am not musically inclined.
Okay.
Maybe you are. I'm not. They're also having a free Looking Glass Academy workshop on April 5th and 6th from 8:30 to 4 at Burley City Hall.
Okay.
This community assessment tool will help determine the walkability and the bikeability of our town for all citizens, including children, elderly, and disabled. So wear comfortable shoes and clothes if you want to attend that. But it's being put on by the South Central Public Health District. They want us to get out and be mobile, and they're going to work hard at making sure that happens. And then McCain's is having a hiring event. If anybody's looking for a job, it's going to be April 14th from 10 to 2. And they're looking for all kinds of people to work there. You know, they did their big expansion, and they have to fill that big expansion.
Okay. Well, holy buckets, you covered a plethora of different items there in a big hurry.
I did. So now I'm going to slow down, talk about one thing near and dear to me, and that is it's called Idaho Living. It's our women's expo. In the past, it was our women's expo. We're going to have it on May 5th at Nature's Nursery and Market. We're going to have all kinds of demos. There's going to be food trucks. There's tons of vendors. So come out and have a good time. Nature's Nursery is going to have a make and take for the kids to put together a little potted plant for Mother's Day, and we're just going to have a great time.
Well, now, where is the location exactly?
Nature's Nursery is located when you go out Highway 81, like you're going to go to Declo. It's just right next door to Edith's Cafe.
And you said tons of vendors. Man, how many vendors are in a ton?
A ton? 51.
I see. You're quick. You're quick. I like that. And what about somebody that wants to advertise their business? Are there still spaces left to purchase?
Yes, there are. Please contact me at 679-4793. Again, my name's Jackie, or you can reach me by email at jackie@minicashchamber.com.
Okay, now, here's a question I know you can answer. It has nothing to do with Philharmonic. What are the hours that your gift shop is open?
Oh, that one I can definitely answer. And I should have Googled Philharmonic while we were talking, huh? Then I would have known. Anyway, our gift shop is open from 9 to 5, and I just ordered a lot of new items. So it's going to be starting to arrive here any day, and so we're going to get restocked and get ready for another wonderful year.
Okay, and I would imagine when you say get restocked and ready for another wonderful year, has the preliminary season of travel already started? Are you seeing a lot of people come through?
We're seeing a lot of people coming home from Arizona, headed back to Washington and Canada. We're seeing a lot of that kind of travel.
Really? Okay.
Headed home.
Well,
so then people have, I mean, this is like an annual event for them. I'm getting to know people almost by name because they stop in every year. So it's really fun.
Oh, my, I'll bet it is. Well, Jackie, you did a great job. I think you should go to the hierarchy and tell them that you want a raise because you did an excellent job on the radio.
Oh, thank you, Zeb. I appreciate that.
All right. You have a great day. And what's the number again over there for people to contact the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce?
208-679-4793.
You have a wonderful Easter weekend. Thank you so much.
You too. Thanks, Zeb.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Nice lady right there, Jackie over at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, and really nice people over there. Okay, let's see what I've got to do next. I want to remind everybody, about Ark Animal Hospital. Hello, Dr. Bill. Hello, great staff over at Ark Animal Hospital, 750 21st Street, near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. Easy to find. And the number to call, 678-1177. They have been voted Mini-Cassia's best veterinary hospital number of years. Absolutely. And Dr. Bill and the rest of the staff say, hey, listen, don't forget springtime, parvovirus time for your dogs. Get a injection and make sure that they're going to be away from any dangers with that parvovirus. And also, I want to remind you that Ark Animal Hospital is a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small. They love them all and can take care of them all. Ark Animal Hospital in Heyburn, and the number to call, 678-1177. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Really good people. Okay, now that I've said that to you, I want to remind you, too, that in just a few minutes we're going to have our dear friends with Cassia Regional Hospital on the air, so stay tuned for that. And I also want to say hello, Jeff and the gang over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Jeff Bronson and the crew at 459 Overland in Burley. Take stock of your situation this morning and say, I want to spruce up this room for springtime. Maybe it's your dining room. Maybe it's your kitchen or your bedroom, whatever, and they've got all the carpeting and the luxury vinyl planks, and of course they've got all the new furniture, the sofas, love seats, recliners, oh yeah, and for the bedroom mattress specials, bedroom sets, deluxe queen sets, oh my goodness, best place in the world to go. Lee's Furniture, Floors and More to spruce up for springtime at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, 459 Overland in Burley. Great, great people. I have been, let's see, I got to maybe do one more so that I'm not going to be running so late. Yeah, I better do one more, and I'm going to talk about my dear friends over to Let's Ride. Oh, yeah, I cranked up the four-wheeler a little bit yesterday. Yes, I did. It was good. It felt good, and I can't wait to start hitting the hills. Well, I'll tell you what, at Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, that's the place to go. Check it out if you don't have four-wheelers or side-by-sides, and if you do, get them serviced and ready to go. They've got the best doggone service department around. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. And don't forget all the accessories, just really great people serving you at Let's Ride. I am very, very impressed with the staff and the great people at Cassia Regional Hospital, and every week on Thursday we find out more about the services and the people over there. Let's find out more today.
People caring about you and your health care in the most professional and progressive ways. That's Cassia Regional Hospital, located at 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. In a moment, we'll introduce you to just one of the many dedicated medical experts serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. Today's program, right after this. Cassia Regional Hospital provides you and your family excellent health care answers and services. They're right here, close to home. That's right. Cassia Regional Hospital offers the latest technological advances in medicine, like their new oncology programs and telehealth, which uses electronic information and telecommunications to promote long-distance patient and clinical health care. Your friends, your neighbors. Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care, close to home. I'm honored to have the clinical dietitian of Cassia Regional Hospital on our program again this morning, Mr. Robert Welker, and we've learned a lot about food and about diabetes and other items with this man. And right now we're going to find out another great place to eat is right in our backyard, and it's called the Cassia Cafe. What is going on? That's right there at the hospital, isn't it?
It sure is, yeah. You know, you think of a hospital, and your first thought is, oh, hospital food, right? We actually have a fully functional cafe right on the back of the hospital that's open for the public and offering some amazing choices for everyone.
So there it is right next to the hospital, and is this the best-kept secret in Magic Valley, or are you just run over by thousands of people every day?
You know, we have a really good turnout from all of our employees, but we really want to get a little bit more involved in the community. You know, it's just right attached to the back of the hospital, right next to the emergency department. And we would love the outside community coming in and trying our amazing menus.
What about the food? I mean, naturally, if it's going to be the Cassia Cafe at the Cassia Regional Hospital, I'm sure that you as a dietitian, you've got all these different plates of food ready to go with protein and calorie count, etc. How do you figure all that out?
Yeah, so as a dietitian, I'm also the food service manager. So I keep an eye on everything that's going around in my kitchen. We have an amazing menu, though, that's looked over by me and other dietitians, making sure we're, you know, staying within our calories, our carbohydrates, our protein, but at the same time still having a fun time and enjoying food as well. So we have a full grill. We got daily entrees. We got grill specials. We have a fully functional salad bar. That probably can beat some of the competitors out there in price for the salad bar. So we have some just awesome choices that people can choose from.
Give me an example of, I'm a big guy, but I don't eat that much. I I like to have maybe some eggs and whatever for breakfast. Give us an example of what a good nutritional breakfast would be at the Cassia Cafe.
You know, daily we have breakfast sandwiches with carbs and protein combined. We also have eggs and sausage and toast that you can choose from, anything like pancakes and waffles and those kind of things. But keeping in mind that it's important to always order a balanced diet as well, and we give you a little bit of that freedom as well.
You know, when you talk about breakfast, I got to lead right into lunch. You know, so many of us are in a hurry like me. My idea of a sit-down lunch is to run through a drive-in in my pickup and gallop down the road. But it's different, and it should be different, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of us are that way, and we have only a couple minutes to grab a bite. But, you know, when we sit down and kind of think about our eating choices, that we can really focus in and eat more of a balanced diet and make better food choices each day.
Now, what about the prices? Surely, can you compete with all the other ones that are out there and welcome the throes of people coming into your restaurant?
I really think we can. You know, a lot of our food, you can get a full-course meal for $5. I don't know if you can do that anywhere else, you know, with sandwich and a sides and also, you know, be able to look at it and say, hey, a dietitian's looked over this and it's the portions are right, the calories and the protein and all those kind of things are right. And even our salad bar, a lot of people rave about our salad bar, that you can't find a large salad anywhere for over, you know, $5 or $6, but ours you can get an amazing salad for between $3 to $5.
Oh my goodness! Now, what about the family? I mean, sure, it's nice to say I'm going to run in there and I'm going to have lunch, or maybe my wife and I are going to have lunch. What about families that maybe are in town to shop or go to other meetings? What about family members, kids, Aunt Martha and Uncle Fred, and everybody else?
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, we actually recently had a family reunion that came in. They had 30-plus people, and it was a Saturday afternoon, and they were thinking, you know, what type of options do we have in the area? And luckily, one of the family members was an employee at the Cassia Regional Hospital, so he said, hey, let's go to the hospital, and he knew that there's amazing food, and it was a reasonable price. So they fed the whole family under $100. They had an amazing meal, and they didn't even have to leave a tip.
Oh, okay. Now, I also heard that you do catering through the Cassia Cafe. Explain that to us.
Yeah, we can do outside catering. You know, if you wanted us to cater a birthday party or a special event, we are up and running and ready for business. So we've looked into talking with outside companies for catering, and you know, if you have any interest, we are happy and ready to go. Typically, we would need at least 48 hours to, you know, get ready and prepare for your event, but we are excited and willing to support and get food out to the community.
Now, what about the area covered? Would you like to explain that to us, please?
Yeah, I mean, within the mini Cassia area, we could be in the Burley and the Rupert and the Paul, like just in this area. If we would have to travel a little bit further, we might not have as good a luck. But in the Burley area, we are happy and ready to serve the local community.
You know, what I like about this, there's so many different choices and there's so much availability to help people to eat healthy. Why should the people listening to this program, why should they really stop by and check out not only the Cassia Cafe, but all the other facilities at Cassia Regional?
You know, like I said, we have some amazing dietitians that are overseeing our menu, that are overseeing our amazing diabetes clinic and all of the things that go on here. So, you know, rather than just going through a drive-through and getting burgers and fries every day, be a little bit more balanced. Come in, check out our daily entree. You know, maybe that's a Mexican food, or maybe that's an Italian food, or something else that you just might not have thought about. But we are able to get a balanced meals into your life, and you know, kind of lead you away from some of those fast food choices.
I hope you won't tell me that salsa is bad for the human being, because I put salsa on everything from cereal all the way to ice cream.
Well, I think salsa sounds like a good idea. Tomatoes and some spices, and off you go. So I'm not going to lead you away from your salsa.
All right. Give us phone numbers and times that they can contact your office and find out more, not only about Nutrition Month, the month of March, but also find out about the Cassia Cafe.
Yep, we are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Like I said, we're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then whenever you're hungry during those times, feel free to stop by. We're up and ready to go. So if you just call the main hospital number, they are happy to track me down and transfer you over and get to the kitchen. So we are ready to go and ready for any outside caterings or any questions that you might have.
This man is one of the many top professionals at Cassia Regional Hospital, Robert Welker, the clinical dietitian, and very happy to have him on our program this morning. Tune in every Thursday at 9:18 right here on Zeb at the Ranch for more about the people and the healthcare services at your Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home.
I tell you what, every time I have a segment on with those folks at Cassia Regional, I just learn so much more. Really quality people serving you right here, Cassia Regional Hospital. Thank you for being on our program. I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Cameron Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Hello! How are you folks with the best of life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits? They are really dedicated and responsive to your needs and accessible. They will help you. All you need to do is call them, make an appointment at 436-4424, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. As you may or may not have ascertained, that today is kind of a special day for me, and I have had a little bit of a bounce in my voice and a quickness of my step today. Major League Baseball season starts today. Yes, sirree, I am enthralled with my Chicago Cubs, and they play Miami today, I think right about noon, so I will try to hurry and get a lot of miscellaneous chores done, and then hopefully tune in for a little bit of the game on opening day 2018. The Cubbies against Miami today, starting Major League Baseball season. I am looking forward to it. While we have a moment, I want to remind you about our dear friends at two businesses that are asking you to come on in and celebrate Easter with them by checking out all the various gifts for your family for Easter. Mad River Laser at 502 East Street in Rupert. Hello, Nicole. My goodness, they're having an Easter gift shop sale. The entire gift shop is on sale. Plus, when you spend $50 or more, you'll receive a free flour sack dish towel. And when you spend over $100, you'll receive a free canvas tote. All of this to go in and appreciate a great store with really talented people at Mad River Laser on the square in Rupert, 502 East Street. You stop in and see them today. Also want to remind you about our dear friends at the Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley. Oh, they've got all kinds of items for Easter gift giving, precious moments, figurines, and books, all over the place books, and special gifts for all those Easter baskets, crafts, and art supplies, everything at the Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley. Wishing you and yours a very happy Easter. With that being said, we're about ready to have one of my very, very favorite guests on the phone, and that is going to be Rita Ramsey. Quickly, I also want to remind you, again, that the open house, basically a meet and greet for the newly married Sharon and Owen, will be tomorrow night up at the Albion LDS Church. Sharon Hardy Mills now is married, and they're going to ask for everybody to come on up and just be a part of it. Come on, you all meet and greet the happy couple tomorrow night starting at 7 o'clock at the Albion LDS Church, Sharon and Owen. There you go. Let's go to the phone line right now and say good morning to the lovely Rita Ramsey. Good morning to you.
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Well, there is so much going on in the news. I thought I'd start with something that I talked about the first hour. I've talked about every day on my program. And it's a great concern to me because the liberals and the Democrats really are pushing for this more so than ever before, and that is gun control. How worried are you, or what is your position on this topic?
Well, probably the biggest thing is that people are not enlightened, you might say, about gun control.
Right.
We're going down a very dangerous road, and if we get some type of gun control now, it will never be reversed. It will only go forward, more and more and more. So that's the part that really bothers me the most. I think we can, take a look at what's happened over the years, and this is the part that's really mind-boggling, is that you've got kids in college that have no clue, and of course they were that way 50 years ago when they thought that, the communists were the wonderful people and everything. But I actually pulled an article off of a news website, and it's called Chilling 6 Facts About Communism You Won't Hear in Today's Pop Culture. Here are some of the facts and stats. Nearly 100 million people died under communist regimes.
Wow.
Chinese dictator Mao Zedong, who was Chairman Mao, was responsible for executions and imprisonments, forced famines, labor camps that killed an estimated 65 million of his own countrymen. Cuban revolutionist and pop culture icon Che Guevara ordered hundreds of executions by firing squad without trials. He famously said, "We executed many people by firing squad without knowing if they were fully guilty. At times the revolution cannot stop to conduct much investigation." He famously hated America, free speech, and rock and roll. And you know how many kids you've seen wearing Che on the front of their T-shirts, and it's kind of like, do you not understand what this idiot was about?
And let me stop you there. And I noticed this along with the clenched fist and the kind of the socialistic attitude and demeanor up at the microphone. Good heavens, Rita, what is the matter with these kids? And if anybody cannot see that they're being led by the liberal left to be a ploy and a toy, they're absolutely blind and dumb.
Well, and the part that's really sad about it, and I'll give you these other facts in just a minute, but you can read some of the responses, and one of them had a picture of Che Guevara, and it says, "How handsome is this revolutionary?" It's like, what is the matter with you? These people don't know history. They haven't checked into anything. They just think, oh, this is wonderful. There was an estimated 7 million people perished under the dictatorship of Joseph Stalin, the director of the Soviet Socialist Republic, and many died from famine after the government's forced collectivism on farmland, and we've heard about those. And then it says, of American millennials, or 33 to 42% of millennials, American, say they're familiar with Mao, Guevara, and Lenin. And if they really are that familiar with them, why would they think this is way cool? And it says, among millennials who are familiar, at least a quarter of them have a favorable impression of Guevara, Marx, and Lenin. It's like they are just saying that. They don't know. It's kind of like when they did a thing over the weekend of, it was probably the microphone on the street. It's a walk-in thing that they had in Washington, and asked people, do you know what an assault weapon is?
Yeah.
They would kind of, well, an assault weapon is like something that you would assault somebody.
Yeah, I heard that.
I mean, they had the stupidest answers because they didn't have a clue what they were even talking about.
And you and I both talked over the last couple of weeks about this subject. The children that were at that high school and the horror that they went through, I can honestly understand. And I do commend them for wanting to speak out and demand that they are safe. But to stand up there like they're these little tin robot socialists and condemn legal people that own legal guns and belong to a legal association like the NRA, and call politicians like Marco Rubio baby killers. I've lost my entire respect for these young people.
Well, that's absolutely right. The other thing is they're being used and used greatly, and because of it, there's going to be a lot of kickback. But there were some statistics that came out about that march, and basically what happened is it had nothing to do with guns. They said that 10% of all the kids or all the people who marched there were of high school age. 10%.
Yeah.
The average age of the people who are marching was 49.
Wow.
Most of the marchers, when they were asked, said it wasn't about gun control. And 12% of the ones who answered weren't motivated. They were motivated by gun control, peace, and Trump. But 79% of the ones who were there were left-leaning, and 89% voted for Hillary. And so what it was all about was about Trump. It wasn't about guns, and it wasn't about these high school kids that aren't protected. It was about, okay, we can do this. And the other thing that I want to know is, if high school kids really organized that, how did they get permits? How did they get porta potties? How did they get people there? You know, all the people that had to be bused and everything. Well, we know darn good and well it wasn't a 17 or an 18-year-old teenager that arranged it. They wouldn't have had a microphone or something. They would have forgot. They wouldn't have had everything covered. We know that this was arranged by some professionals, and it was funded by somebody with a lot of money. The Democrats helped fund it, and I imagine that there was a ton of Soros money in there.
You know, let me throw this at you. This past week, I was following a story about a teacher, I believe in California, and she stood up in front of her class, and she said, "Students, what do you think would have happened if you would have taken off of school to support a pro-life, anti-abortion march? Would the schools and the administrations have left you go en masse to support that march?" And she was suspended by the school board for asking that question.
Oh, absolutely. They don't want to let the right amount of information out. The other thing is, I did hear an interview with her, and she said that some of her students, when she had got suspended, some of her students said, "We're going to apply and see if they'll let us have a march for anti-abortion, and tell them that's what we're doing and we want to do it." And they were trying to get it organized, and she said, "I really think they won't let them do that." But that just shows that there's a double standard. You know, if it's what we believe in, fine. But if it's what we don't, then we'll just shut you down. So it's just really too bad, because a lot of people hear and think, oh, there were 600 and some thousand kids on the mall in Washington, D.C., and first of all, there was only about 200,000 people there, but most of them weren't even kids, so, but they hear a one-line, headline, and that's what it is, and then they don't know the facts, and this is where the problem comes with all these kids thinking that these communist dictators and stuff were heroes. They don't have a clue.
Has the Democratic Party, I've got the answer already in my own mind, but I want to see what you have to say. Has the Democratic Party and the left become so sleazy and cheesy that they couldn't, when they were indoctrinating and training and telling these kids what to do or what to say up at the microphone, that they couldn't have cleaned up the act so that it might have been more acceptable to all people of all ages? I mean, the language that was used, the mannerisms that were used, the way they were dressed, and the way that they denigrated people and ran down people like myself and you and others. The left absolutely must be the sleaziest bunch, with a platform that means nothing more than taking control.
Well, that's absolutely right. I think their very biggest problem is they are so mad that Trump won that they just are seeing red, and they can't think, they can't do anything. Their main goal is, we've got to get this out of here, and I guess they really think that if they get rid of Trump, that all of a sudden the second runner-up, which was Hillary, would be the president.
Oh,
and that
boy.
is not the case. This is not a beauty pageant.
Well, wait a minute. I don't think that's fair at all. When you start saying that it's not a beauty pageant, how dare you even enter Hillary Clinton?
Well, I guess we know why she didn't win. Huh?
Okay. I've got some comments I want to make, but for the sake of certain aspects of my audience, I think I'm going to refrain. Thank you for bringing that up. You just spoiled my lunch. But anyhow, I want to talk to you also about Susie and Barry. They're going to Hollywood, and they might develop some new liberal scripts for TV, movies, or whatever. Aren't you excited about the challenge that's before Barack and Susan?
Well, we should be excited. However, we're smart enough to know that the liberal things don't go over so well, and that's why there aren't really big liberal talk shows and stuff like that that do well. They can try over and over and over again, and they don't have advertisers because they don't have listeners. So, yeah, I imagine it ought to be a pretty good thing. Somebody wants to lose a ton of money.
You know, Susan Rice, this is what drives me nuts. I'm trying to find that story this morning that came across the wire service, and Deanne pulled it off the wire service for me. And they were railing on and on about Susan Rice and how she is just absolutely above everyone, and she's such a person devoted to always showing integrity, etc. She's a liar, and they're making her out to be the new sainted princess.
Well, if they think that she's got integrity, they're totally wrong. They're just bringing her on because she's a liberal voice, and she's attached to the president by the wristband with should be handcuffs. But anyway, they know, and they're bringing somebody on like that they think that they can get a lot of mileage out of. She says, I'm thrilled to be joining the board of directors of Netflix, a cutting-edge company whose leadership, high-quality productions, and unique culture I deeply admire.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to find out that she isn't quite the drawing card that they would hope for. And if they bring Barack Obama into it, it'll be even worse. And if they really do some investigating, maybe they ought to play that Benghazi video a number of times on Netflix to remind her that she was at the helm and started all the rumors.
Absolutely. You know, before I do a weather forecast, I want to get your opinion on a brand new college course at the University of South Florida. They're going to be teaching Adulting 101. Why, they're going to teach these kids how to grow into be adults, how to write a check, or maybe turn on the stove and cook for themselves. Oh, don't you think this is wonderful?
Well, it is. The big problem is that we're probably paying for it. And that's the part that really makes you mad, is because parents should have taught their kids that long before they went to college.
You know, though, Rita, the millennial generation, there are so many, and we have proof of that right here in this area. So many in that age bracket that have taken, like I said earlier, pulled themselves up by their own bootstraps, got an education, saw a dream that they wanted to pursue for a career, and they've gone out and done it. Whether it's being an entrepreneur in the restaurant business or a furniture business or taking over a huge farming operation, they've gone out, they've worked for it, because in America you can succeed if you try. But then there is a large percentage of the millennials, they can't even tie their shoes, so they go ahead and wear slip-ons. I absolutely think this is ridiculous.
Well, it is, and like you mentioned, it's not all millennials, because there's a number of them who have, you know, and probably a fairly big percent. It's just that we really notice the snowflakes, and there's lots of kids out there that are, you know, in their 20s, 30s, and early 40s that have done all kinds of good stuff. And in this area, it's because we have lots of different values in most areas, and it's the values of the parents and the things that the parents have taught the kids. I'm not saying there aren't kids from here that, you know, are snowflakes, because there probably, I know there are. But the thing of it is that there are just lots of different values in our area. one thing about this David Hogue, and I'm sure that you probably read this, where he attacked Laura Ingraham for tweeting about his not being accepted at a college.
Right.
The reason that I wanted to bring that up is that her tweet is that David Hogue was rejected by 4 colleges to which he applied and whines about it. He was deemed by UCLA with a 4.1 grade point average, totally predictable given acceptance rates. He expected that he should just be pulled into a college, whichever college he wants, forgetting that there's a lot of competition out there that might be a step ahead of him.
Yep.
But it's owed to him and with the things that he's done. And I would be surprised if there were some universities that would say, you know, this guy's a little controversial. Maybe we don't want him on our campus bringing a lot of attention to us. And so it's kind of like, well, we'll choose the next guy because they have equal qualifications and skip the controversy. But this kid is being used by, well, I'm sure it's the George Soros.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about that.
Right.
But he's got to the point where he thinks he's a celebrity and he's making such a difference and that he can just have carte blanche and he can get anything he wants. And UCLA should be glad to have me and even give me a full-ride scholarship just for me to be here. I'm so wonderful.
You ought to write his letter of application.
I should.
Okay. I've got to get a weather forecast on. Stay tuned. I'll have more with Rita Ramsey in a moment. The weather brought to you by some people that right now are really burning the midnight oil, and they're getting stoop-shouldered, leaning over, figuring out all your tax returns, and they are top-notch professionals. They know. They've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. Who am I talking about? Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert, offering you the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, bookkeeping services, retirement planning. The list goes on and on. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company now brings you the weather.
Going to be looking pretty good for Easter. Good morning with your Zeb of the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. For today, that breeze will be continuing, expecting a high around 54, mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy for tonight with a low of 35. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, still breezy. Highs, however, reaching around 63. Mostly cloudy for Friday night, expecting a low of 40. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 62. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, and a low of 38. Then for Easter Sunday, going to be pretty nice, mostly sunny. You'll be hunting Easter eggs with a high around 62. That's your Zeb of the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
Thank you, Scotty. And the weather brought to you by some people that really are doing a great service and job for you. It's tax time, and I hope they're working for you, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. I'm serious. They really know what they're doing. They can help you, your family, and your business. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Rita, the deal at Hofstra University, I would be amiss if I didn't talk to you about this. Here we go with a major university on the East Coast back on Long Island in New York. And some of these dim-witted communist and socialistic punk kids are now demanding that a beautiful bronze statue of Thomas Jefferson be torn down. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are if the university people have any fortitude at all, they'll say, you know what? We're not even going to consider that right now. We're going to put it on the back burner, kind of like they do in the legislative sessions. We're going to put it on the back burner and we'll visit it later, because if they keep doing this, there's going to be people, and they're going to be just like these high school kids that, you know, gather up a march, and it's not high school kids, it's just somebody with an agenda that they're trying to push, and they'll go to every university and start tearing down everything that they don't like. I mean, you know, you can read where somebody doesn't like this about this university and somebody doesn't like that, and pretty soon they're starting to damage property and do other things. If you don't like what they're doing at the university, go someplace else, for crying out loud. You weren't thrown in there and have a life sentence.
Well, Rita, where does it stop, though? Because, and you kind of alluded to this, but where does it stop? Does it stop at the Bronze outside Hofstra University on Thomas Jefferson? Does it stop at maybe Mount Rushmore and have all the faces blown off the face of that canyon cliff? Where does it stop? I mean, we're looking at a society right now that's trying to purge honesty and history of what took place back in the birthing of our nation and the growth of our nation. And my attitude would be, you little punks, get out of my office and don't come back.
Well, that's absolutely right. And I don't know how you were when your kids were little, but when they would ask if they could do such and such or the other, or can we do this, you didn't really want them to. You didn't always say no. You'd say, well, we'll talk about it or we'll think about it, and pretty soon they would lose the focus and it would be another thing later, and that's all you had to say is, we'll see or we'll talk about it later or something, and then they'd be off to the next thing. And I think that's what they need to do at these universities or any of the properties around the country, whether they're city parks or federal parks or whatever, is say we'll take that into consideration, make a formal request, and we'll take it up in some of our meetings, and we'll get back to you. Instead of saying, okay, go ahead, tear it down, just do whatever you want.
You're a little bit.
You have to treat them like little kids because that's the way they're acting.
Yeah, you're a little bit more lenient and forgiving than I am. I mean, when it comes to our history and our forefathers that literally provided the blood, sweat, and tears to provide us, some 200 years later, the greatest country in the world, I have no patience with these punks. Most of them really don't know the background on Thomas Jefferson or George Washington or Abraham Lincoln or Benjamin Franklin or anybody. All they know is that they want to take the leftist attitude and tear down and destroy. My attitude is, punk, if you touch that statue, you are going to be faced with a $10,000 fine and possibly 2 years in prison. Hit the road.
Well, that's absolutely right. They should be told if they do any kind of damage, they'll be arrested for vandalism. But I think that they could just make them stop if they'd say, yeah, we'll visit it later, and set it on the back burner.
But America today is faced with, I demand that you stop this. I demand that you don't say that phrase. I demand that you take down that statue. And I'm at the point where I'm not going to be demanded to at all. I'm just going to absolutely float my own boat, and if it gets in the way of those people, so be it.
Well, it is, because when they're demanding something, they're usually infringing on somebody else's rights. They have rights, too, but they can't have rights that infringe on other people. So it's kind of like, hey, this is the way that it works here. Maybe they need a history lesson. Maybe they need to be reminded, get in line, go through the process, and we'll see where it ends up, instead of just, I've got to have it right now, instant gratitude.
Well, whatever happened to the concept, lest we forget, majority rules?
Well, that's exactly right, but we live in a society where everybody's got to just have the self-gratification right now, and we can't wait, and because of it, we're demanding people to do this and that and the other, because without really seeing the whole story, and it's got to stop. It's going to have to come to a stop, or it's going to be a big blow up.
I agree. Time goes too fast. I enjoy this half hour. Thank you, Rita Ramsey. I appreciate it. God's blessings to you and your family for a blessed Easter weekend.
You too, and thank you. Bye.
You bet. Take care. Thank you very much. Rita Ramsey on our show every Thursday. I look forward to that. I also look forward to sitting down and talking to you about starving to death. I had a bowl of cereal at 4 o'clock this morning. I'm hungry. Let's go to the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Shrimp and small fry, just $7. Famous Farmer Brown burgers with fries and that special sauce and all the different flavored shakes. It's fantastic. AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, how about Taco Bandito? 2301 Overland in Burley. One of the greatest places in the world to get together for your morning coffee. And don't forget, with that, you can have a breakfast burrito, scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, cheese, onions, tomato sauce on a tortilla shell. Woo! knock your boots off. Delicious. The menu's fantastic at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. And then, of course, Burgers Etc. 2 locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And don't forget, they've got that mushroom burger combo, only $5.99 after 3 p.m. Oh, it is great. And every Sunday at the Burley store, shrimp dinner, only $5.99. Great people, super food at Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, let's head over to Steve-O's. Food made the way you love it at 290 South 600 west of Hayburn. And don't forget, they've got cupcakes all over the place, and buffalo burgers and a different soup every day, and really, really friendly people. Fantastic menu. They want to serve you at Steve-O's, 290 South 600 west of Hayburn. And those are just a few great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. I am right now. Hey, we're going to get ready to leave here in just a second and send it to the CBS News. But I want to remind you, next hour we've got Cassia County School Days, Superintendent Galen Smyers on the phone, and Business Salute, all kinds of good things. Don't go away. But right now we're going to send it over to Wheels for this word for Tommy Ahlquist, and then CBS News following. Here we go, hour number 3 on a Thursday, and the dadgum wind is blowing again. Ooh, I hate wind. Anyhow, good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, and of course with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and a big spring tire sale going on right now. Stop in and see all those folks today. I about choked to death. Had a great big glass of cold water during the break, and there we go. Anyway, I also want to thank our advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. We are going to have Cassia County School Days in a few minutes, but right now I've got some time to tell you all about a great big sale that's going to go on this Saturday, March 31st at 11 o'clock, starting over in Castleford at 3272 North, 900 East. Look for all the signs, and they'll have lunch by the Cook Shack, and it's the Bennett Boys Auction Service having the John and Sousa auction. They're going to have all kinds of tractors and trucks, and they're going to have farm equipment. I mean, they've got it all. They got harrows and they've got planters. You better be on over there. Farm items, miscellaneous items, all kinds of good things. This sale, the John and Sousa sale, is going to be this Saturday, March 31st, starting at 11 o'clock over in Castleford. Look for the signs, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys can sell them all. Absolutely. Oh, and by the way, one more reminder for this week about our friends at Airvana, defined as the ultimate level of comfort that you'll achieve with the presence of a new Lennox home comfort system. And when you buy a new Lennox home comfort system at Ramsey Heating and Electric, you can get up to $1,700 in rebates. Wow! Airvana is just another great way to make you feel better. So call Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459 or visit ramseysonline.com. Every week, and this program, it amazes me as to how successful this segment has been because people really listen and they learn, and that's what it's all about. Cassia County School Days brought to you by 2 great, wonderful sponsors, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and oh my goodness, they have got all the children's clothing and the furniture, where they got clothing for the moms, all the spring dresses are there, and of course they've got all the games and the puzzles, not tuzzles. I got to remember that faux pas. All the games, puzzles, and toys at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley, along with the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley for your outpatient surgeries. They can and they will help you with the best of doctors serving you. Call. Find out more information on how they can save you money. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you Cassia County School Days. And with me right now, and I really am going to miss this man when he retires from his position. I think he has been an outstanding superintendent, and he's an all-around good guy. I've known him for years and years. We both have got a lot of gray hair and longer earlobes in all that time. Good morning, Superintendent Galen Smyer.
Good morning, Zeb, and how are you?
I'm getting older, and I'm enjoying it. How about you?
Well, that beats the alternative. For those who know me, being out and about yesterday and today, my hair's actually mussed up, and I don't have much.
You know, Galen...
I'm a little tired of the wind, pulling the moisture out of the ground, but it's going to fix it so we can get in the fields.
I'll tell you what, you've known me for a long time. I don't chase things well. And when my hat kept coming off, man, I had to say goodbye.
Yeah, they blow up against the fence in short order.
You bet they do. Galen, I'll bet you this has got to be a little bittersweet for you as far as retiring from a position that I know you love kids, I know you love the school system, and you're going to be retiring, but now they're in the process at Cassia County to find a replacement for your job. Tell us a little bit about this meet and greet and also some of the requirements that they're looking for.
The Board of Trustees has worked with the Idaho School Boards Association to facilitate a search for my replacement. And they accepted applications and have since narrowed the list down to 3 finalists. And those 3 individuals are coming into town on Monday, April 2nd. And the board has arranged for a meet and greet, as you mentioned, for the community people to be able to get acquainted with these folks and familiarize themselves with the candidates. That has been scheduled from 4 till 6 on Tuesday, April 2nd, at the new John V. Evans Elementary School, which is located at 3000 Park Avenue in Burley. Now, one of the candidates, Glenn Simoniak, has some travel conflicts, and so his meet and greet is actually going to be at 8 a.m. that morning.
Oh.
And I know that poses a bit of a difficulty for people to maybe have to make 2 trips, but again, the board felt like it was important that the community have an opportunity to meet and get acquainted with him. So April 2nd at 8 a.m., for approximately an hour, will be the opportunity for the community to meet Glenn Simoniak,
okay,
one of the finalists. And then Jim Schenk and Sandra Miller will be available from 4 until 6 that afternoon at the elementary school.
What basically, and I'm going to show some naivete here, Galen, but what kind of a basic list of criteria do they have to answer to and or abide by?
Well, certainly it's twofold, at least twofold, in the sense that they have to have knowledge about education programs, curriculum, all of those kinds of things. That's on one side, and then the other side is the management part of it, the working with personnel, with students, with community people. And as you know, Zeb, this position puts you in the public a great deal, and so your interaction with the public is extremely important. And so the community people and eventually the trustees will be making a decision, but I know that they'll be looking for feedback from people who meet these candidates as to their thoughts. So ultimately they're going to have to find someone who can step into this position and continue to promote the things that we're doing and to improve the education system for our students and the working conditions for our staff.
I would imagine, Galen, for all the years that you've held that position, and I would think it's safe to say that every day is a learning process. For anyone coming into that position of being superintendent of Cassia County Schools, what kind of a track or to run on, or what kind of a book to follow is there?
That's a excellent question. For this past year, I've been keeping notes of things that are due at particular times of the years in case someone that comes in is less familiar with Idaho. I know Mr. Shank currently works in Washington, and Mr. Simoniak is in Alaska but has been in Idaho, so he'd be a bit more familiar. And, of course, Mrs. Miller works in this district now, so she'd have some familiarity as well. But you're right. There are certain things that need to be accomplished at certain times throughout the school year, and not the least of which this time of year is staffing. We not only are looking for a superintendent, but we have a elementary principal position vacancy at Mountain View Elementary that we're accepting applications for now. And then certainly there are going to be a number of teaching positions and classified personnel. Every year there's just a little bit of a turnover, and so we're continually this time of year looking at candidates and hoping that we can choose the best people to fit the positions.
Let me ask you this, and again, I'm showing some naivete here, but you're talking about a person that really has to come into the area and kind of adopt the persona and personality of the area. That must be kind of a tough pill to swallow sometimes, isn't it?
Well, I'm sure it would depend a great deal on their background, and as you know, Zeb, our community is very conservative, and they have certain values and mores that they promote among students and among the community. And so getting acquainted and up to speed with the expectations of the community are critical. We've traditionally done things a certain way, and it's been very successful for us and served our students well, and our students, former students who are now citizens in our community, and the adults that have children themselves, the vast majority of them have been well served by our education system and the values that we instill and try to promote. And so, yes, someone coming in from outside the community would have to get up to speed with those kinds of expectations.
I think you would agree with me that whoever is chosen to be the next superintendent, they better have some stampede strings on their hat, because this area is growing and we're going to see some big changes.
We will, Zeb, and that's one of the exciting things, and it's a bit terrifying, is always when you're growing, you get to that stage where you're not quite, you can only overbuild to a point, and then as you fill up that space or utilize those curricula or whatever you have available to you, then making that next step can sometimes be difficult because it's a bit tenuous.
You know, what about you, Galen? I don't want to just see the door close and you fade off into obscurity. What are you going to be doing?
Well, you mentioned bittersweet, and there's never a perfect time to leave any kind of a position, and I've wrestled with that. I'm looking forward to some new opportunities, but right now I don't have any plans, and that's both scary and exciting. And I know my wife has got honeydews lined up for me, so I'll have work to do, but I may be looking for full-time employment to get me an excuse that I had to get out of some of those if she gets too carried away.
Well, the rumor has it that you have been taking down the old fishing poles and making sure those reels have got new line on them.
That's exactly right, and trying to toughen up my hands so I won't have line cuts. Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know, I want to ask you this, Galen, in the time remaining, and like I said, we've been friends for a long, long time. I have the utmost respect for you since you were the ag teacher right there at the high school. What are some of the things that you're most proud of during your tenure as superintendent?
We've continued to expand student opportunities, and that is at the dual credit level, with students being able to take dual credit classes while in the high school that will chip away at a college associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. We've continued to expand our professional technical programs and increase opportunities there for students. we've obviously made a big push on facilities, and the community has been very supportive of that. And we're in the process of completing the last of the projects that were associated with the 2015 bond. So all of those are good things. Certainly when we went through the downturn in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, I think part of it is just being able to look over our shoulder and know that we weathered that storm rather well, again, because of the conservative nature of the district and the community. We didn't endure some of the program cuts and other things that other districts did. So I look back on that with some satisfaction, even though they were difficult times.
And I got to sum it up right here, but I think you'll agree with me that for those students that really want to put in something to their education, to get something back out for their future, right now the sky is the limit. Businesses are looking for qualified employees. There are many trades available for great paying jobs. I mean, right now education can send you to anywhere you want to go.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time to be alive. It's an exciting time to be in education. It's exciting to see all of the growth that's coming, and it's measured growth, Zeb. We're able to adapt to much of that, but it's far better to be growing than it is to be declining, as some areas of the state and the country have done. And so we're so fortunate that our economy is building upon itself and diversifying to provide some additional opportunities for not only our current citizens and adults, but our prospective adults as these students come through.
Galen, real quick, give us a quick thumbnail sketch again about this meet and greet. When, where, how, and who?
April 2nd, Glenn Simoniak will be available at 8 a.m. on April 2nd, Monday morning, at John V. Evans Elementary at 3000 Park Avenue in Burley. And Jim Shank and Sandra Miller will be available that afternoon from 4 until 6 in the same building.
All right. Well, it goes without saying, I wish you God's blessings and the very best to you and your family. Thank you, Galen Smyer, Superintendent, Cassia County Schools. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zeb, and thank you for all you do, and I appreciate your listeners and the support they've given education.
God bless you, man. Thank you very much. I really enjoy that, man. He's a good friend, Galen Smyer. Thank you for being on the program. Whoa, wait a minute here. I've got to go right to another interview, if my timesheet is correct. And I think we've got the old football coach on the air. Yes, we do, from Barry Equipment and Rental at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Hello, Juan. How are you, buddy?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, not too bad. I got to ask you right up front, are you a baseball fan?
I like baseball.
You do? Today is opening day. Do you know that?
I do. I don't know why I'm working, but I should be watching some games today instead, but we got to move some equipment.
All right. Well, that being said, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time. What's your favorite major league team? And if you say the right answer, you get a free lunch. If you don't, you got to buy me.
Okay, but don't make fun of me. I am actually a Milwaukee Brewer fan.
Okay, you owe me 3 lunches. Okay, buddy. No, I used to be back in Milwaukee area, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you knew this or not. When the Braves were in Milwaukee, before they basically left the state high and dry and moved to Atlanta, and I used to have season tickets at the Braves games.
Oh, really? That's pretty neat.
Through my grandfather. Anyhow, tell us about what's going on in the world of equipment rentals and equipment sales. My goodness, Barry Equipment and Rental with a great big sandbox to play in out behind. Tell us what's going on.
Well, we got all our equipment up and ready to go. We have so many attachments for every single piece of equipment that we have. You need to dig post holes to get your fence up. We got auger attachments for our skid steers. You got some pallets that you need to move around or some hay to move around. We got forks for our skidsters, and they're all ready to go, track and wheeled units.
Holy smokes. Sounds to me like everybody had a meeting early in the morning and they're putting a full court press to get everybody served, right?
Yeah, once that heater in the sky starts working, everyone wants to get to work.
Well, that's true, but, I want to stress the fact I've had more people call me, and they think I'm kidding when I say this with your ad, that you've got a sandbox out behind the business, and you can teach these people how to run Bobcats or whatever. This is really the truth, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you give me a call in advance, I'll go down to the pit and make a mess and have it ready for you so you can set up and clean it so you can get a good feel on how all the equipment works and all the attachments. And there's nothing around there that you can hurt or damage, so it's a free-for-all.
Okay. Now, the grass is growing, and people are going to be out mowing the lawns. I want you to give us a kind of a complete, comprehensive sales pitch for the Walker mowers.
The one and only Walker mowers. They are the best in the business, and right now we are offering 0% financing for 4 years on any Walker mowers.
Wow, 0% financing?
Yeah, absolutely. And at Berry Equipment, we really want you to feel confident in what you're buying. So we will actually take the mower to your house, let you mow your lawn, see what you think, and get you really comfortable with the machine.
Okay, now, Juan, what makes the Walker mowers so special or so good? Give us a little bit of the mechanics report right there.
It's a unique machine. So the three quick features of the machine: that you have the best seat in the house, has one of the best comfort seats available. It leaves a beautiful cut. It's a unique deck. The way it's set up, it cuts great. And then the thing about the mower is usually all the mowers, the decks, you're sitting right under them, so you really can't see where specifically you're cutting. And the Walker mowers, they're right in front of you. You can maneuver it any way you can.
Wow. And you've got all the Walker mowers, you've got all the Bobcat excavators, which I have to come down and get one. I got to get cleaned up for springtime. All the equipment rentals, all the retail equipment sales at Berry Equipment and Rental. Now, quickly tell us the locations of Berry Equipment and Rental.
So we have the 465 Addison Avenue in Twin Falls, and then we have our Nampa location just right when you head into town, and then you got the best store out of all three at 169 West Highway 30 here in Burley, Idaho.
Absolutely, with Juan and the crew. Even though Juan is a Milwaukee Brewer fan, hopefully he'll grow out of it. Congratulations and thank you for being on the program this morning.
Hey, thanks, anytime.
God bless you, man. Juan over at Berry Equipment and Rentals, sales, service, and parts, and, of course, equipment rentals and equipment sales at Berry Equipment and Rental. Really, really good folks. Now, coming up next hour, after we have our break here at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have Maria Espinoza on the air, and Maria's been on our show many, many times. She is the national director of the Remembrance Project, and she is very outspoken, and I respect that, about what President Trump and this administration need to do, build the wall, and create better border security. So we're going to have her on the program at about 10:32 this morning. And also a quick note, I wanted to get this in real fast. Hold on just a minute. If you want to earn a college credit, fishing, I'm not kidding, all you have to do is call the Idaho Fish and Game and sign up for the Wild About Fishing workshop that's going to be held at the Jerome, Idaho Department of Fish and Game office on Friday and Saturday afternoon, April 13th and 14th. And the number to call is 324-4359. Right now we're going to have this word for Tommy Ahlquist, and then we're going to send it to Wheels for the bottom of the hour.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Welcome back to our last half hour on this Thursday. And, of course, this is Holy Week with Good Friday tomorrow and, of course, Easter on Sunday. I make no bones about it. I really enjoy having this next guest on my program. She is the National Director for the Remembrance Project, which honors and remembers Americans and legal residents who have been killed by illegal aliens. And her name is Maria Espinoza, and I'm very happy to have her on the show this morning. Good morning, Maria. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I'm doing well, and I hope you are too. And again, thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, you're always welcome here. And I'm going to say this to start our interview off this morning, and you may think I'm very calloused and not caring, but there's a reason for why I feel this way. I am absolutely sick and tired of catering and welcoming illegal aliens and refugees into this country at my and your and others' expense. It's about time, I think, that our government started looking to and asking us whether or not we've had enough and we're not going to take any more of this pandering by other people coming in from foreign countries.
Absolutely. We have to protect, our country, our community, our jobs, our resources. It's very important. And, we have a front door. And those who sneak in the back door, they care nothing about, number one, our laws, our Constitution, our way of life, and the American people.
The headline on the information sheet that I had for you this morning, Maria, it says, call it an invasion and build the wall. I love the way that's phrased because I am absolutely appalled at the amount of people that are coming across our borders. We have no idea what their intent is. We don't know anything about their backgrounds. And the naivete of this country, the United States of America, allowing this to happen, I hope and pray that Trump gets the wall built. Elaborate on that, would you please?
Oh, absolutely, Zeb. And we support President Donald Trump in whatever he decides to do as far as the wall. If he wants to use the money in the military, then absolutely, because this is an invasion. There's an epidemic of killings of Americans taking place all across the United States. And there's a humanitarian matter, and it's also a national security threat matter. And he has to do any and everything in his power to protect Americans in this country.
What about, and I'd like you to elaborate on this a little bit, Maria, because you live in Texas, and you know what's going on with the borders in Texas. You know who and what is coming across the border and how it infringes on the safety and security of American families. Can you give us some stories that you're very well aware of how American citizens are afraid to live in their own homes?
Oh, absolutely. My goodness. There's a rancher in South Texas, 60 miles north of the border in Falfurrias area, where I've been on a night watch and saw that illegal alien crossers or criminal trespassers, CTs as we call them, with backpacks loaded with drugs, sneak in the middle of the night coming across our border. I've been there at 1 a.m. in the morning watching this take place, but there's a rancher out there that they abandoned their ranch because, they can't sell it because they're constantly having this problem with illegal aliens, and it just got too dangerous for them. So, they can't sell their property. They're stuck there. They've many of these families in Arizona homestead this land, been there for 100 years, and here they can't even protect their backyard, and the government refuses to do this. So it's very dangerous. In fact, in the state legislature, not this past session, but the sessions prior, we sat and listened to the president of the Border Patrol Union for the Del Rio sector, Hector Garza, talk about that during the former president, past administration, under Obama, they were told to stand down if they came across coyotes with 6 or fewer illegal aliens that were told to let them pass, and if they were carrying drugs of 40 pounds or less, they were told to let that pass as well. This is outrageous, Devin. These are the stories that the American public does not hear about and that the fake news won't carry, and these facts are what our legislators, even in Texas, refuse to take into consideration and take seriously. I mean, we just passed SB4, went through the federal court judge of Orlando Garcia, and he placed an injunction on our SB4, which is the anti-sanctuary city law in Texas, was supposed to go into effect September 1st of last year, but Judge Garcia put an injunction and ruled for the plaintiffs who are open borders and pro-amnesty groups. And then Texas took it to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, where we won unanimously. And most all of that SB4 law stopping sanctuary cities in Texas is able to go forward now. So this has to be carried on through the entire country. As you can see, there are about 4 municipalities in California fighting and opting out of their sanctuary state law that liberal, twisted Governor Brown put forth earlier this year, or last year. Earlier this year, I believe. So, these are the things that we have to fight for. And, if we considered the border as our own backyards, every one of your listeners think about that border being your backyard. How long would you stand for trespassers to go in and out, bringing drugs and human trafficking, sex trafficking, and killing in your community? We wouldn't tolerate this, and the government shouldn't expect us to tolerate such chaos and mayhem.
Well, I will say this, Maria, and then we'll take a phone call. Give me a short response on this. But I would say through the Obama administration, it was absolutely a slap in the face of ranchers and people that lived on the border, because they, as citizens of this United States, were taking a back seat and told to stand down in protecting their property and their families by an administration that was kinder and more thoughtful to people that shouldn't be here in the first place.
Oh, absolutely right. That's what happened. This was the situation we're in, and you can still see that Obama is trying to obstruct, along with the entire Democratic Party and also the majority of the Republicans. So, it's up to the people, Zeb, to stand up and stop this insanity.
Absolutely. We have a caller with a question. Go ahead, caller. Please, you're on the air.
Yeah, but, I've been wondering, why don't they just string the nice or several hot wires down there along that border and kind of sizzle them a little bit if they try to cross it?
Well, I'll ask Maria about, Maria, really, it sounds harsh to use the word sizzle them a little bit, but on the other hand, my goodness, isn't our culture, aren't our American citizens worth more to protect than somebody trying to bring in drugs and do harm to our society?
Absolutely, they're worth a lot more. And why isn't this done? In Mexico, we should implement all of Mexico's policies and how they protect their southern border. You cross that southern border in Mexico, and you'll be shot. And Mexico know that the American people have so much against them. Like I mentioned, the parties, legislators not legislating for us, the citizen, but we also have a Mexican consulate who is very active in the Mexican government in trying to keep illegal aliens in our country, in the United States. Remember, Mexico places a remittance fee on the monies transferred from the United States into Mexico, and it's either number one now or number two in their economy. So they have every intention of trying to keep as many illegal aliens here. They've created centers of defense and placed $50 million into those centers of defense to help illegal aliens remain in our country.
Maria, I got to tell you that the other night I was watching the news, and they had the court case with the illegal alien that was the cop killer, and he turned around and laughed at the family and just basically applauded and made fun of it. And I looked at that situation, and it all the more solidified my reasoning that we need to get very tough on our borders right now. I don't want to see any more illegal aliens coming in here, being felons, and killing and maiming our American public.
Absolutely. We have to shut down that southern border, vet who is here, remove them immediately who are here, and also, we're talking about some of these detention centers. Well, we can pitch some tents along that southern border until we get them out of here. Because if it's good enough for our soldiers, it's good enough for these illegal aliens.
Absolutely. We have another call with a question. Go ahead, caller, quickly. You're on the air. Thank you.
Morning, Zeb.
Yes.
My question is, what is their capital punishment in Mexico? Because up here, when they commit crimes and murder and what have you, they spend forever on death row. Nothing, if anything ever happens. I mean, they get good place to sleep, good food, TV to watch, and I'm pretty sure in Mexico they ain't quite that friendly. And I feel that we should put a upgrade on our capital punishment.
Maria, would you respond to the caller, please?
Sure, and that's one thing that President Trump, I saw in the news, he mentioned that he was considering the death penalty for these drug traffickers. We can start right there because look at the opioid crisis that we have here across the United States, the uptick in the MS gang activity, crimes, and the membership. So, yeah, I think that we have to do that, but I also would like to find a way for Mexico to pay for that as well. Why should the American people, taxpayer, be paying for the illegal aliens? In fact, instead of pouring $50 million in their centers of defense, maybe Mexico needs to reallocate those funds to our prison system and pay for those illegal aliens there.
Maria, let me ask you this. No one would know this better than you because you're closer to it than most people. What are your thoughts about the actual physical building of the wall? Are you encouraged by what you see, or do you think it's going to be the deterrent necessary? What about the wall itself?
Absolutely, I'm a supporter of building a wall all across the southern border. And, in different areas and different terrain, we will need a different type of barrier. We could do seismic. We can do some fencing and a solid wall. I've been along that border, and, borders, fences work, borders work. We know this. If we can pay millions of dollars to help other, foreign countries enforce their borders and build fences, why can't we do it right here in the United States and protect Americans? So I'm for the border, and yes, it will help.
And let me ask you this question, Maria, before I have to wrap things up. But when you hear the Democrats sit back and wail and cry like little babies in diapers and say, oh, we can't build a wall because that's so archaic. Why? They don't build walls anymore. We want to be a welcoming country. How would you respond to the Democrats and their stupid philosophy?
Too much of a welcoming country right now. We have a front door, and we should expect people coming in that front door and close that back door. But also, I was going to mention something that escaped me. But, the wall is very important because, take a look at this, Deb. If we have another very liberal, open borders, anti-American administration that gets in the next time around, we're doomed. Look what Obama did. He did a great injustice to all Americans in this country and our economy and all the way down the list. So we need a wall in order to protect ourselves in case we run into another anti-American president.
When you hear people say open borders, come on in, everybody welcome, and no borders at all, go and come as you please, well, then my question would be, who are going to be the taxpayers? Who are going to be the people that support any semblance of government in an open borders nation and society? It's absolutely going to be anarchy and total chaos. Don't they understand?
They should. I mean, if they don't understand, I think they do understand that, but they think that they live in this or have a thought of this utopic community. If they really felt that way, then why do they shut their front doors and lock their front and back doors?
Absolutely. Maria, in regards to the Remembrance Project, I would be amiss if I didn't have you explain that again to our public as far as what you're trying to do and doing a great job of it, too, I might add. Please explain that to my audience.
Thank you, Zeb. Yes, the Remembrance Project honors and remembers Americans who were killed by illegal aliens, people who should not have been in the country in the first place. We also memorialize them, the victims, on our Stolen Lives quilt banners, and we know now that there's a fake news out there, so we connect the dots and have a visual memorial to all of these lives lost that are all 100% preventable and that should still be here with their families and living out their dreams if only existing laws were enforced and politicians placed Americans first and represented Americans and had the best interests of our families in mind. So our website is www.theremembranceproject.org, theremembranceproject.org, and you have to put that in the URL bar that way because major search engines have suppressed the search for our website. It makes it very difficult to fundraise, Zeb, and I'm completely volunteer still. But we're working hard as we can, and we did open a small office up in Washington, D.C. to look over the shoulders of these legislators, and we just certainly appreciate and ask for prayers as well. Appreciate all the support you can give.
I want to say thank you very much for all that you do, and thank you for being on my program. Maria Espinoza, to you and your family, a very happy Easter weekend, and please come back in the future.
Thank you, Zeb. God bless you, and God bless all your listeners. Appreciate it.
Thank you very, very much. I really like that lady, and she's doing and trying to do such a great job. We need to build the wall. We need to tighten our borders. I am sick and tired of these milquetoast mamby-pambies that don't have the brain that God gave a nailhead to say that we should have open borders and one all come in. This is ridiculous, and it's going to kill America. Thank you, Maria. I do appreciate you being on our show. Let's go right now to a weather forecast, and that's, of course, brought to everybody by Scarrows Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657, or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com, and, delicious meats. How about a smoked ham for Easter dinner? Or maybe you're going to have a big Easter breakfast with all the bacons and the breakfast sausages. Maybe the bratwurst. Or maybe you're going to have a late afternoon dinner with a marinated prime rib. All of that and more from delicious Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, let's listen to Scotty and have the weather.
Going to be looking pretty good for Easter. Good morning with your Zeb of the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. For today, that breeze will be continuing, expecting a high around 54, mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy for tonight with a low of 35. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, still breezy. Highs, however, reaching around 63. Mostly cloudy for Friday night, expecting a low of 40. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 62. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, and a low of 38. Then for Easter Sunday, going to be pretty nice, mostly sunny. You'll be hunting Easter eggs with a high around 62. That's your Zeb of the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron.
Thank you, Scotty. Appreciate it. He's filling in for Gina this week. Did a phenomenal job. Thank you, Scotty. And the weather brought to you by Don Scarrow and the crew at Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. As I said, the telephone number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time at Scarrows Meats. I got time for a call or two. Give me a jingle quickly at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I urge you to go to church. I urge you to be participatory in the services for Holy Week. Maundy Thursday, service tonight. Good Friday, of course, tomorrow. And Easter Sunday. Remember the real reason for the celebration of Easter. It's not chocolate eggs. It's not Easter egg hunts. It's not wearing all the fancy clothes and trying to outdo the Joneses and the Smiths. It's the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. I urge you to remember it for what it is. I want to remind you also about our friends at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all 7 locations serving you with a great big spring tire sale. They are busy with tires like the Backcountry All-Terrain for your pickups and SUVs, or the Open Country HT Quiet Running Smooth Ride, or for your cars like the Eclipse tire, All-Season Traction Advanced Tread Design, Oh, that great tire starting at just $61.97. All of this and more at all 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley, along with the brake service, highly trained technicians, and, of course, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. They've got it all. They've got it all. So you can roll into spring worry-free, thanks to your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Really great people. Oh, my goodness, what a week we've had. And I got to say to you folks out there, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have done an outstanding job of calling in and weighing in on all the issues. When we get back together next Monday at 8:06, of course, it's going to be a brand new month. And, of course, on Monday, we're going to be celebrating. I've got some home runs coming on next Monday. We've got Frosty Woldridge, and we're going to have Megan Barth, one of the all-time favorites on this program. She's very outspoken, Regis Giles, and many others. And on Tuesday of next week, we're going to start, you can tell it's spring. Yep, we're going to start with Vicky's Country Garden on Tuesday, and of course, Dr. History. And we've got excellent people coming on every single day next week at all the different time spots, so don't miss a minute of it. What we're going to do right now is get ready to send it back over to Wheels for a good word, and then he's going to take us up to CBS News. But I really do urge you folks to have a very nice Easter weekend. The weather sounds like it's going to be phenomenal. Wheels, are you going to do anything? You're going to have an Easter egg hunt or whatever?
Actually, on Sunday, I am going over to my grandma's house. I think she's going to be doing a family get-together, so that will be fun. Of course, I'm too old to do any Easter.
Oh, you are not. It's never too late in your life to have some fun. Now, I would imagine, knowing your grandma, that she's a pretty doggone good cook.
Well, now hold up for a sec, because we're talking about my mom's mom, not my dad's mom that comes to lunch.
Well, you better be real careful what you say here. I kind of got you painted in a corner.
Yeah, you got me sweating a little bit on the forehead.
I won't say anything more. I'm just going to tell you this. I'm running a little bit late here. I need to get a good word on in just a moment, but I want to wish you a very happy Easter, and you've done an outstanding job. We're going into a very busy time of the year with all the political ads and everything, and Wheels, I thank you for all your help. Right?
Oh, I was just going to say no problem, sir. I hope you and Deanne do the same as well, and if you guys do end up seeing Jake or anything, please be safe.
I'll do that, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Easter this weekend with you and your families. Right now, this good word for Tommy Ahlquist, and then Wheels is going to take you right up to CBS News. I'll see you Monday at 8:06. The way things were are the way things ought to be.